There's no Kent on stage right now.
But that's when he lives in Maine.
Well, I know.
It's just too far away.
Oh,
they're under a misapprehension. They've had way too much wine.
Well, they think you and Kent.
They do.
No.
I kissed him once. He was a good kisser, but no, that was it.
This is the person in the show we've never
unveiled
on stage before.
It's that Chinese food in Winnemucca. Well, we'll do you one more, because it's always better to, not wear you out in the first set, because you might not come back. There's a fine line between getting your money's worth and a show that never ended, and we're going to make sure that we walk that fine line throughout the rest of the show. So we'll do one more, and then we'll all go back, and you can have more wine, and we'll come back in the second set, and if you're all here, we'll play you different songs. So, there once was another beautiful young girl, Psyche's roommate in high school. Her name was Persephone. She was the daughter of very powerful parents. Her mother, Demeter, was a master gardener. And her father, Zeus, had some sort of corporate job that made him feel that he ruled the world. Persephone was the only daughter of this couple, and they wanted to give her the perfect childhood. Like the Buddha, all darkness was kept from her. She saw only the beauty in the world. She was sent to an all-girls boarding school and an all-girls college somewhere in the Boston Beltway. And life was so perfect for Persephone that when Hades rode by her dormitory in the spring of her senior year at college on a black motorcycle, black leather jacket, he was the most exotic thing she had ever seen. And she climbed on the back and they rode off to San Francisco, where they lived in a basement apartment and read Russian novels. Hades fed her something he called a pomegranate seed, and one day it altered her reality for the afternoon in ways that seeds from her mother's garden never really had. She thought about trying to bring him home for Thanksgiving, but it became apparent that this was not going to work for anyone, and she's learned to leave Hades on the West Coast. So on the first day of spring, Persephone takes a plane, and she flies off to Marblehead, where she helps her mother with the gardens for the summer. And then on the first day of fall, she takes another plane back to the West Coast, where Hades now lives in another basement apartment in Seattle, and writes computer code for Microsoft. Life was on like this for Persephone for a number of years. In her early adulthood, I have to fix my earring. Thank you. In her early adulthood, it does not occur to her that she has gotten in a boat, and it is traveling down a particular river. And more years go by, and as we will, Persephone starts to look around. She realizes she has gotten in a boat and it is traveling down a particular river. And more years go by and Persephone comes into the center of her adulthood. She decides she must stick an oar in the water and claim this boat as her own, claim this river as the river of her life. So she writes a letter home, explaining that the life she had might not be quite what they thought was going to happen, but it is giving her a sense of rooted truth in the world. I swallowed a seed in the dark long ago. A girl who needs her mother will do anything she's told. It was Hades, his horses, then it was my cries, the innocent losses, the breaking of the ties. Mother, do you follow? Mother, do I leave? Mother, I have swallowed the pomegranate seed. And you weep when I visit for the damage that was done. When I leave your fields in autumn, you're not the only weeping one. For I can still hear that frightened young girl calling out for rescue from the underworld. Calling, mother, do you follow? Mother, do I leave? Mother, I have swallowed the pomegranate seed.
sacrificial deep. He said, open, you are the sea.